Hello, friends. And it's your favorite grumpy old man, broadcasting from WDWL TV, Studio B, located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard. And we're a division of Grumpy Vulture Productions. Ugh. Vulture this, vulture that. So, I go to the mailbox today, and you will never guess what Grumpy got in the mail. Come on. Focus. Focus. There, focus. See what that is? Grumpy got a summons for jury duty. Jury duty. Now, I know that it's my civic duty, but 6 years ago, my doctor wrote them a detailed letter, including a full diagnosis, and the response I got back was, you are not only excused from that jury duty at the time, but any jury duty in the future. Your name will be removed from the jury pool. Not. This ain't removing me from the jury pool. So, I contacted my doctor today and I said, you will never guess what I got in the mail. And when I told him it was a summons for jury duty, he said, can't be. I said, yes it is. He says, do you have a way of sending me that page? I said, oh, yeah, no problem. So, I took a photo of this page with all the information and sent it to him. That was just while he was at lunch. So he comes back from lunch and he informs me that he received it and that he would be making a phone call to the jury commission. He says, once I get through, I will call you back. Cool. Now, mind you, I have no problem doing my civic duty. No problem whatsoever. But, first of all, it's winter. Second of all, I cannot sit in one spot for hours on end. Like every 45 minutes, I need to get up and move around. I can't just sit. Second of all, I have medications that I need to take at certain times during the day. There ain't no way I'm going to be able to raise my hand and say, Judge, I need to take my medication, please. Okay, hold on. We will stop court. Court's in recess. The grumpy old man needs to take his medication. Not. That ain't happening. What I don't understand is how, if the jury commission could send me a letter stating your name has been pulled out of the jury wheel, never again to be in that wheel, and they lied. Now, interesting point. When I worked in the courthouse, in the center of the first floor rotunda was this big, large, wooden wheel. It looked like a paddle wheel that you would see on a windmill, but of course it's sealed. It was about 8 inches wide by maybe 36 inches. And in that wheel was every person's name over the age of 18 who were registered voters. Now, if you got a driver's license, because a lot of people said, well, I just won't vote anymore. Well, the state got that. But there was this big wheel. And when it came time for a jury pool, there would be representatives from the clerk's office, there would be a representative from all the judges. A certain person was picked by all the judges. I can't remember, there were like 5 people, and they would spin that wheel, just like you would see on Price is Right. Spin the wheel! And they would spin the wheel, and then there's a door on it, and they would open the door, and if they needed, say, 100 names, they would start picking, they would just reach in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think every 10th name, they would close the door, seal the latch, spin it, draw 10 more names, close the door, spin it, and this went on until they got their 100 or 200 or 300 names they needed for the jury pool. And it was kind of neat to watch. But this, and this wooden wheel was like over 100 years old. Well over 100 years old. I can't remember, there was a plaque on the side. Yeah, I worked there and never bothered to read it. But every now and then, they would assemble and spin that wheel. Now, whether it's still in the courthouse or whether they moved it over to the Justice Center across the street, I don't know. But at one time, it was in the center of the rotunda. And of course it was roped off. You couldn't get to it, you know. But when it came time to pick a jury pool, that's what they did. They went out and it could be computerized by now, but I don't think so. The only thing that gets me is what do they do with people that are no longer here? That was one thing I never paid attention to. You know, did they come out and they draw more names? Because, you know, I'm sure there were names of people that had passed years previous. So maybe if they ended up with 20 names that were no longer here, they went out and drew more. I never paid that much. Like I say, I worked for the clerk's office and never, you know, there's a part of history. That jury wheel was well over 100 years old. And I walked past it several times a day and never paid attention to it. But the one day I watched people gather and they were spinning the wheel, and Frank was one of the, he was from the clerk's office, Frank. He worked in the front office. And I asked Frank, I says, what are they doing? He says, well, they're picking juries. I said, picking juries? He says, yeah, it's the jury wheel. But even then, I didn't pay much attention. So there was a piece of history that I should have paid attention to, read the plaque, maybe taken some pictures. Because see, back in the day when I worked there, there weren't these asshole auditors, you know. Well, I can take pictures whatever my eyes can see. This building is paid for by the public. Isn't this building open to the public? Well, yeah, asshole, but it's a limited non-public forum. You can't, and, you know, back in the 70s when I worked for, there was none of this. Today, these assholes go crazy. And everybody is an independent journalist. You know, they go in there, I'm an independent journalist. I have freedom of the press. The First Amendment says so. Well, I was an independent journalist. There's all my IDs. Journalists are issued IDs. You know, just because you have a cell phone that has a camera doesn't make you a journalist. Oh, wait a minute. I have a cell phone. I'm an independent journalist. Not. Now, if you had a cell phone and an ID that says you are an independent journalist, then you are. And for all you assholes out there, the courts have already ruled that being a YouTuber does not make you an independent journalist. They caught on to your scheme, idiots. You're just out there for the clicks and views and the money. Well, the courts caught on to it. And, you know, sooner or later, you're going to ruin it for everybody. You know, that freedom of the press is slowly going to disappear. Because you assholes. I'm an auditor. I'm doing a First Amendment audit. Well, you know, when our forefathers wrote the First Amendment, it doesn't say anything about video and camera and cell phones and independent journalism. It says freedom of the press. And that meant that basically that newspapers or news gathering agencies had the right to report on whatever they wanted to report on. I watch video after video after video on YouTube of these assholes. And then I like the line, your rights are like muscles. If you don't use them, you'll lose them. Oh, for Christ's sake. All these idiots that went to the YouTube College of Journalism. You know, they watched a couple of videos on YouTube and they were like, I'm a journalist. Same thing with all these assholes that go out, you know, and they jump into a scene and they gotta film the police, you know. I hate cops. I'm filming them to make sure that they don't do anything corrupt. And then if the police tell them, like, hey, can you back out of our crime scene? Oh, you are tyrants! You assholes don't know what a tyrant is. I am just so fed up. But I'll tell you what, 2024 is becoming the year where it's all backfiring on these assholes. Because the courts aren't putting up with it anymore. And neither are the police, or any law enforcement, police, sheriff, whatever, constable. They're arresting these assholes left and right, and they deserve it. I'd like to tell them, try your freedom of the press audit in, like, Russia or China. And you see what tyranny is. Because that'll be the last time we see you. You know, it's funny, you don't see, well, you know, they don't have the First Amendment over in China or Russia or, you know, but you don't see these auditors like over in Russia or down in Colombia Yeah. I would like to see somebody go down and try to audit a cartel. You'd be hanging from a bridge somewhere, minus your head. And I I got a good laugh today because there was this guy somewhere in the Midwest. I didn't pay much attention to where he was from. And he decided, get this, he was going to go in and audit a police department. Yeah. Well, his audit was like 10 minutes long. And then he really got to do an audit from the inside. Because within 15 minutes, he was wearing the nice, shiny silver bracelets and being escorted back to the booking room. He even admitted, I watched some YouTubers. I've got the script down. I'm going to show them police officers who's right. He did. And they showed him back. You like the new look, peoples? For those of you that weren't here yesterday, new look. I'll put a little more light on it. Look at that, huh? Look at that. Look at that light. Here, I'll take the headphones off. Look at that, huh? Huh? Isn't that nice? Huh? Yep. Grumpy had it with the hair. No more. Too bright. Down. There we go. Yeah, I had enough of it. It was an experiment that went awry. But it gave me a new appreciation for what women have to go through to make themselves look pretty for us. Long hair's a pain in the ass. Let me tell you. And talk about long hair. When I used to work for limousine service, I had to do a lot of airport pickups. And one day, I was back at one of the gates waiting for the plane to come in. And this agent, she worked for Continental at the time, had hair about that far from the floor. I couldn't believe it. I looked at her, and she says, "You like the hair?" I says, "I'm amazed." And I can't remember how old she said she was, but from the age of 16, she never cut her hair. The only thing she would do is have it straightened at the bottom to make sure that, one side wasn't longer than the other. But she had hair like 6 inches, 8 inches from the floor. And when the radio cackled and they said the plane was coming in, she started to wrap it in a bun. It was amazing. I have never seen hair that long in my life. So I asked her before the jet got to the, the jetway, how long it took her. And she told me an hour and a half a day just for her hair. Washing it, cream rinsing it, and the longest time was drying it. And I asked her, and I said, doesn't it get to a point where it's becoming a pain in the ass? And she said, nope. I love it. She said, I'm never going to cut it. And that was back in the late 90s. And I was older than she was, so I figure at the time she had to be late 20s, maybe early 30s. I can almost imagine, if she hasn't cut her hair, I can almost imagine how long it is right now. But it was amazing. It was gorgeous. And I, growing up, was never allowed to have my hair over a certain length. When I started to look a little shaggy, my father would drag my ass to the barber shop. And I always had to get the haircut he wanted, not what I wanted. And I had the chance for years to do what I wanted. And it never hit me until the virus. And everything closed down. And then my barber retired. So I just let it go and let it go and let it go. And then finally it got to be a pain in the ass. So I got out my little, I had this mustache and beard trimmer. Now I got a full barber kit with the normal, barber shaver. But I wanted to try that thing. And just, 2 hands, follow it, make sure that, and then checking it until I made sure it was all gone. And then, something I've had for 2 years, my neat floating head, independent floating head, and it's made for shaving your head. And each one of these float to contour to your head. I bought it 2 years ago. Never used it. And it's a wet or dry. I could go in the shower with this. Finally got to use it. And does it make, God, does it do a wonderful job. I love it. Best investment. Amazon, like $25. And it comes with a neat little charger. Come on, focus. little charging disc. It just sits on the. Of course, you got to plug it in, but yeah, it just sits on the charger. And it's got this neat little window. That tells you what your percent of charge is. Now, it's fully charged. Of course, you saw it said 100%. But yeah, I go in, a couple of minutes, done. Now I got to start taking care of this. Got to start conditioning it. I ordered some. Oh, what is it called? Not beard balm. It's not oil. It's like a cream. And it conditions. I can feel it. It keeps it from doing, snarling and tangling. They're going to start. See, I want it to get to a point. I have to condition it. It's like conditioning your hair, except it's a cream for conditioning your beard. Beard butter, they call it. Beard butter. Yeah, I can butter up my beard. I ordered some today. I've been reading up on it. Oh, they've got everything. They've got oil, beard oil, to condition. Of course, that's, if you had a big... And I ordered a while back. It's called balm, beard balm. It's like a cream, but it's a pain in the ass. Because you got to put a little dab in your hands, and you got to kind of like liquefy it. Where with the beard butter, it's already pre-liquefied. You just take some and you rub it in and comb it out, and away you go. I can't remember the name of the company I ordered from. There were a couple of them on eBay. The shit ain't cheap. I looked for a cheap one. Hopefully it's a good one. And I finally, I'll show you one of these days. I'll spin the camera around. I finally got my new shelving in, and my rack to hang all my microphones and that over here. Studio B is getting organized. Next, I got to get into Studio A because it's a disaster over there. You know, wires and cables and microphones. And I got shelving for over on. Yeah, I told the maintenance guys, order this, order that, order this, order that. And I got the spark plugs today for the RAV. I can pop these in tomorrow and be back up to full horsepower instead of having oil-fouled spark plugs. And the neat thing is, I got this neat little come on, focus. Focus. NGK Racing Spark Plugs. Little emblem to stick on the dashboard. Of course, I'm not going to put it on the dashboard. I think what I'm going to do is stick that on my laptop with my other neat nameplates. Yeah, it was a free gift. And like I say, not a knockoff. NGKs, not a knockoff. V-Power, resistor, $14. $14. If I was to go up to the auto parts store, this box of spark plugs, 35. Same fucking plugs, $35. These were 14 plus tax and free shipping. And I got them 2 days. So friends, when you need auto parts, take it from the grumpy old man. Check eBay. And they're not paying me for this announcement, and neither is NGK. But it's a neat commercial. Check eBay. $14. And I ordered another set. I should order 2, but I ordered another set because 5 weeks I'll be putting another set of plugs in because it's oil fouling that bad. Hey, $14 every 5-6 weeks. And it only takes me like 15 minutes to change them. So easy. They're right in the top. You don't have to bend this way and bend that way. And they're right in the top. Pop off the wires. Take the plugs out. Pop the new ones in. Pop the wires in. Done. 15 minutes. A lot cheaper than $2,000 to have new oil seals put in. And with that, I'm going to start prepping for dinner. Because tonight, I'm having lobster rolls, lobster egg rolls. 3 lobster egg rolls and a shrimp egg roll. They're good size. Bigger than what you get at a Chinese restaurant. So I have my 3 lobster and my 1 shrimp, some sauce to go with them. Dinner. About 15 minutes in the air fryer, done. Air fryer. Best invention they ever made. Pop them in the air fryer. Don't have to heat the big oven up. Not to mention the air fryer crisps them up nice. I could do them in the microwave, but they don't get crispy. I like, like when they pop them out of the deep fryer at the Chinese restaurant, Then I think I'm going to make me a pot of chili over the weekend in my little 2.5 quart crock pot. I love that thing. Makes 2 meals perfect. $10. $10. Matter of fact, I'm looking on eBay right now for electric fry pan. It's about 8 by 8 by about 3 inches. Perfect for the grumpy old man. And the nice thing is, you know, no muss, no fuss, simple cleanup. I love it. That's like I got me a 10-inch covered skillet. And it's that stone something, not stoneware, but yeah, that non-stick. Well, you know, I have fallen for some of these as seen on TV. But I fell for this. I'll get the name. It's Stone something. First pan I have ever had that works. Now, you have. See, this is what people don't pay attention to. Before you use it, you have to season it. And what you do is you take a little bit of vegetable oil and you heat the pan up, but not to smoking. You heat it up to basically where you can just barely touch it. Then you let it cool, you wipe it down, and you do this twice. And when you're done, it is fully non-stick. And believe me, I have tried to burn stuff in it. Nothing sticks. And you don't have to add butter or oil. I already cracked an egg in it. And you can swirl the egg around. It don't stick. But see, that's the thing. People think when they get the pan, they take it out of the box. Okay, I'm going to go cook with it. There's a trick that they don't show you on TV. And they I think they do it deliberately so that when you screw up the pan, you buy another one, thinking that maybe I got a bad pan. No. You have to season it. I'll tell you what, this 10-inch covered skillet works so well. I ordered 2 8-inch skillets. And that's all the pans I need. 1 10-inch covered, 2 8-inch. Although I have a full collection of Revereware. I love those copper-bottomed pans, except when I have to clean the copper. But I've got them from a little egg pan all the way up to the big 8-quart. But I'll tell you what, the new ones are not like the ones from back in the 50s and 60s. No. When I go into like Goodwill or Salvation Army or a thrift store, I check them to see what the weight is. Because I don't want the newer ones. I like the old ones because they're heavy and dependable. Not that I need more Revereware, but I guess I like hoarding it. Yeah, I've got one little dinky, it's like a 1-cup saucepan. For melting butter is what it's for. Grumpy old man size. And with that, I keep talking about dinner. I'm gonna go make dinner. And I will talk to you tomorrow, friends. And number 30, you're my man. You're my man, number 30. Let's get to 31. Somebody out there that's watching the asshole here, the bald, grumpy old man, subscribe. I'd like to check tomorrow and see 31. Like I say, I'm not asking for a lot. One subscriber a month. So whoever's watching, just click that subscribe. You don't have to watch me ever again. Just subscribe. Make the old man happy. And with that, I'm going to sign off for the evening. Number 30, hang in there, bud. I can't wait to drive by and yell, 30! Take care, boys and girls. I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. Got to get out of that. Friends. You're all my friends.